coming today. I'm so excited to share with you something that I love, and it is called Pysanky. So I want you to take a look at these. Now, this is how they all started. Just a simple little white egg. And the ends have little black spots because you blow out the egg. So this is what we're going to talk about today, and I want to teach you a little bit about it. When you look at these Ukrainian Pysanky eggs, you will see great detail in writing and in colors. And you will soon learn the meaning and the messages behind this beautiful art. This art form is really dear to me. I started learning this art form when I was 10 years old. I've studied about it in books, and I have continued to work at creating this art for the past 45 years. Have you ever marveled at a piece of art and wondered about the history behind it? Pysanky art would capture your attention if you truly understood it. Knowing a bit of the history of the Ukraine allows us to better understand the remarkable art of Pysanky. Taking a closer look at why certain colors are applied is really important. Grasping the meaning behind the motifs and the symbols will help further teach us even more. For me, there's also a personal connection to the Ukraine. So come along with this path of discovery, and we will see why Pysanky art has great importance in the Ukrainian culture. Let's first begin by learning just a little bit about the Ukraine. Its history can help us understand better more about their culture. So the art of Pysanky goes back to many generations, and the Ukrainians used to believe in pagan gods. From the online site of Pysanky, the art of making Ukrainian Easter eggs, we learn from Helena Murdry, she's a teacher of the art, that they were first decorated as an offering to the pagan gods, especially Dazdov, who was the sun god. Okay, then we go forward and we look at Ukraine.com, and it tells us that the Ukrainians became Christians in 988 AD, and suddenly things changed a little. Now, we also learned that the people believed that the eggs had to be fertilized, as they brought wealth and fertility to the family. Looking at the website Proud of Ukraine, we also learn how the Soviet regime had an impact. When the Soviets came into power, they were atheists, and they demanded that all religion go by the wayside. And so the art of Pysanky went into decline because it was not allowed during the atheistic propaganda days. Thankfully, though, this art was never lost. Now let's touch base on how these eggs are tied into their culture and why it's such a big deal. The History and Symbolism website of Ukrainian Easter eggs tells us that the eggs were thought to be imbued with special powers that warded off evil. They encouraged marriage and fertility. They ensured good harvest and your milk and your honey production. And they even protected the household from disaster. So as you can now see, they played a central part in their culture. Next, let me clarify for you the terms Pysanky and Pysanka, so you'll understand what I'm saying when I keep switching back and forth with these terms. Pysanka means a single egg. Pysanky means a whole bunch of them, like the basket of eggs you saw at the beginning. Each Pysanka carries a message, and part of this is accomplished by the various colors. So learning the meaning behind each color helps to deepen your understanding, and it also shows forth the Ukrainians' beliefs. So yellow stands for wealth and prosperity, and white means purity, and green indicates growth, and orange, which is a very popular color on most eggs, expresses power and endurance. Red encompasses love and happiness and life, and black shows forth reverence. Brown represents Mother Earth, and purple symbolizes mental strength, and blue offers good health. So hand in hand with these colors are the symbols and the motifs you'll find on each of these eggs. And understanding what those mean help the viewer to be able to know more what the artist is trying to convey in their work. Adriana, on her site, Pysanky by Adriana, shares with us how the designs and motifs are divided into three categories. The first category is geometric, and the second one's plant, and the third one is animal. Motifs of all three categories are usually combined in one design on each egg. Now the shapes might include stars and circles and dots and triangles and diamonds. On the site Blue Yell, we learn what those symbols really mean. So the dots represent tears, and the stars represent heaven. The triangle for Christians signifies their belief in the Holy Trinity. And lines that are wavy denote harmony and motion depicting infinity. The cross lines, so a cross line like this, it speaks of the 4 ages of life. And those ages are a child, youth, a man, and an elder. The straight lines that go all around those eggs symbolize eternity, are the continuous thread of life. Plant motifs like a leaf represent the tree of life and a symbol of renewal and a creation of new life. Fruit on the eggs denotes knowledge, health, and wisdom. And the sunflower represents the love of God. Third, let me share with you my personal connection. My maternal grandfather, Wasyl Balon, was born in Rytkivitsky and Chernivitsky, Ukraine. He later immigrated with his parents, Mikhail and Ekaterina Balon, to Canada. In Alberta, Canada, he married my grandmother, Vasilisa Pohalski, and together they brought 17 children into this world. Now, one of those children was my Auntie Dorothy. And Auntie Dorothy, when I was 10 years old, decided to take me under her wing. She afforded me a front row seat to this beautiful art. She taught me this by bringing me to her community center, where all the women participated in creating Pysanky. Each one of them did their eggs, and all these beautiful creations were there for me to see and learn from. I began learning more about my heritage and the tradition of Pysanky there. I have become more familiar with the traditions of Pysanky art by studying both the written word and practicing this art form. Keeping this tradition alive is important to me, and I've shared it with my own family and a few friends. 45 years have passed since I was first introduced to it, and I am still captivated by it and love doing it. Last of all, keep in mind that learning another culture and clearly understanding it can often lead to insights into our own lives. Traditions that hold fast for centuries offer many lessons when diligently sought after. Every culture has its beauty, and the Ukrainian culture is full of beauty both in sight and in the meaning of the symbols and the motifs on the eggs. In summation, knowing the history of Ukrainians helps us to better understand the remarkable art of Pysanky. It offers not only a greater insight into their beautiful culture, but hopefully a newfound appreciation for the Pysanky art form. The message that each Pysanka strives to deliver is to uplift, to unify, and to offer faith on a personal level. They do this through the colors, the motifs, and the symbols. My personal connection continues to be strengthened as I participate in creating this. It is clear to us now why this art form is carried forth with such devotion from one generation to another. In conclusion, it is my wish that the next time you see or hear a Pysanka, you will remember the history and the beliefs of the Ukrainians. Perhaps you'll even try to decipher the message that each egg holds. Because you have now gleaned knowledge, and you know about the colors and the symbols. Possibly you might even remember my story, my personal connection to the Ukraine and their wonderful culture. Most definitely, though, now you can share in the joy of Pysanky art, and maybe one day you'll even create your own. Long live Pysanky. Thanks for listening. Hallelujah. You guys are sweet. All right, ice cream.